Today in the battle arena, we've got Batman from the Arkham games going up against Ryu from Street Fighter. So who's coming out on top here? Let's find out. When his parents were gunned down in front of him, younger Bruce Wayne resolved to rid Gotham City of the criminal element that took their lives. He trained extensively to achieve mental and physical perfection, in addition to mastering martial arts, detective techniques, and criminal psychology. He then became Batman, fighting crime with the aid of specialized gadgets and vehicles. Now, Bruce Wayne is still just a human, but man, this version of Batman is definitely physically powerful. He's strong enough to pick up Joker and throw him 30 feet away, crush military grade metal devices in the palm of his hand, break free from both Solomon Grundy and Bane's grip, and Batman has been able to consistently hold up and throw opponents with just one hand. Batman can also land some devastating blows, knocking out Solomon Grundy, ripping apart metal robots with his attacks, and he's constantly sending people flying through the air with his punches and kicks. This version of Batman is also incredibly durable, as the chest piece in his armor is bulletproof. He's fine after being blasted with 2 rockets. He's able to fall 20 stories without taking any damage. He's kept on fighting after being shot in the stomach, has kept on fighting after being punched or thrown through brick walls. He's even fine after having concrete ceilings collapse on top of him. Batman is fast enough to dodge throwing stars from behind without even having to turn and look, take down several thugs before they can even react. He's even shown impressive speed while fighting someone like Deathstroke, who does have enhanced speed. Bruce is also incredibly skilled and a highly trained fighter, being an expert in most known forms of martial arts. He's defeated people like Deathstroke, Ra's al Ghul, Bane, Killer Croc, or battled against Lady Shiva. Really, Batman has routinely fought against countless thugs, soldiers, or assassins all by himself, sometimes taking down 15-20 people at a time. Finally, Bruce also loves to use gadgets and weapons in a fight, throwing batarangs to knock out opponents, using his bat claw to incapacitate people, explosive gel, or even unleash powerful electric or freeze blast. So that's who we've got in one corner: the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight himself, Batman. But entering the ring in the other corner, it's the main guy in Street Fighter, Ryu. Ryu is the main character of the Street Fighter series, and is one of the greatest fighters in the world. He's an experienced martial artist, highly focused on his training, and aims to become the strongest he can. Ryu is an all-around fighter with an intuitive array of punches and kicks, and basic special moves, oftentimes simply sticking to the fundamentals, playing to his more consistent techniques that he's refined throughout the years. Ryu's strong enough to cause small craters in the ground of his punches, lift massive boulders, and send opponents flying backwards with his attacks. He's also durable enough to take beatings from Balrog, Akuma, Blanca, and Oru, who's widely considered to be the strongest opponent in the Street Fighter universe. And he's even taken fireballs with no real visible damage. Finally, Ryu is surprisingly fast, even being fast enough to bullet time and dodge bullets from a semi-automatic pistol. Ryu is also an expert fighter. He managed to easily defeat whole groups of opponents by himself, beat the other fighters in the Street Fighter universe, and even battle against and beat master martial artists like Gen, who trained Chun-Li, and 12, who's an amalgamation of several different Street Fighter skills and styles. Ryu also has some special moves that he can call upon, with the most common being a Hadouken, where a fighter's willpower is focused into pure energy, then launched out through their palms at their opponent. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now today we got Batman from the Arkham series, taking on another great video game character, Ryu from Street Fighter. So who's coming out on top here? Let's find out. And first things first, like always, physicality. Now, Batman is surprisingly strong in the Arkham games, arguably even stronger than his comic book counterpart. He's sent Joker flying across the room, can casually tear apart and bend metal, and has lifted up or moved both Killer Croc and Bane, who weigh 850 pounds to 1,000 pounds respectively. It's also got some serious striking power. Bruce has regularly been able to send people flying up into the air or soaring across the room with his punches and kicks. He's able to punch apart metal robots and actually elbowed a baseball bat in half. Then Batman definitely has experience going up against and beating superhuman opponents, as he's battled against people like Deathstroke and knocked out both Killer Croc and Solomon Grundy. On the other hand, when it comes to Ryu, he's been able to overpower groups of thugs who were dogpiling all on top of him before. He lifted up a massive boulder over his head, a boulder that had to weigh at least a few tons, and he's formed a small crater in the ground with just one punch. So yeah, both are real strong. But what about durability? When it comes to Ryu, he's managed to take punches and just full-on beatings from some of the strongest people in Street Fighter, and yet continuously just gets right back up and keeps on fighting. Like, take Balrog for instance. The guy's strong enough to bust up cars with his punches, or even easily obliterate a punching bag filled with concrete cinder blocks instead of sand. Yet Ryu was able to take all of Balrog's punches, even when Balrog was just pounding on his face. He's really just continuously been blasted backwards or launched around by other fighters, yet is oftentimes able to get right back up and continue fighting, even when in the fight, basically through sheer strength and power of will. On the other hand, while Batman has kept on fighting through the pain of being shot in the gut, he's taken tremendous falls and walked them off, even falling from a 20-floor skyscraper. He's been thrown like a football by Bane and punched through a wall and then an additional 20 feet. Batman's endurance is also just remarkable, and each of the Arkham games takes place over the course of a few days, or even a single night. Yet Bruce fights against and beats pretty much every single person in his rogues gallery. And then finally, we gotta talk about speed. Batman is shockingly fast. Superhumanly fast if you're including gameplay. He's dodged bullets and even rockets after they were fired, dodged and caught throwing knives or dodged ninja stars without even looking, and he's routinely dodged attacks and taken down multiple opponents before any of them could react. He's blocked attacks from Ra's al Ghul and Deathstroke with impressive speed. He's incredibly agile in combat. He's even able to spray his explosive gel on the ground while Bane was still in midair and before Bane could hit him. But one of Ryu's greatest strengths here is that he's surprisingly fast too, even being fast enough to bullet time and dodge bullets from a semi-automatic pistol. So yeah, both of them are really physically powerful. But this fight isn't just about physicality. No, these are two of the greatest fighters in video game history. And so skill is going to be super important. And Batman is a remarkably skilled fighter, is an expert in most known forms of martial arts, and he's easily defeated groups of 20, 30 thugs all by himself and in record time. He's also battled against and beaten other skilled fighters before, like Deathstroke, Lady Shiva, and Ra's al Ghul. Then he's battled against superhuman opponents too, like Killer Croc, Bane amped up on Venom, and Titan-enhanced thugs. Then Batman isn't just a skilled fighter. He's an incredibly strategic and tactical fighter. A much smarter and more strategic fighter than Ryu. But is he necessarily a more skilled fighter than Ryu? Well, that's a much harder question to answer. Batman's mastered pretty much every fighting form out there. But Ryu, well, he just mastered one form. But he's so skilled. He's the two-time champion of Street Fighter contest against the best superhuman warriors that the world has to offer, even winning the first competition when he was just a rookie. That really says a lot. He's beaten fighters in just two moves, even beaten very skilled fighters like Fei Long with really very little effort. And that's not all. With Ryu, his main ability is Hadouken, which is basically using his own willpower in order to launch out powerful energy blast at an opponent. And this tactic can actually be super powerful. But he's also got different tactics, like Hadoukens that can stun opponents, Hadoukens that can set fire to an opponent, Shuriken, which is a jumping uppercut or spinning kicks. But I want to circle back around to Batman's strategy and intelligence. It won't take Batman long into the fight before he realizes that he's going up against a powerful superhuman and a skilled fighter on top of it. So it's gonna force Bruce to really rely on his gear and weapons, or even his stealth, in order to come out on top. This is actually exactly how he approached battling against someone like Mr. Freeze, using the environment, stealth, and many of his gadgets in order to take down Freeze. Because according to Batman, Freeze is just too powerful to fight straight up. He's got batarangs capable of knocking people out, a reverse batarang that can hit people from behind, an explosive gel, which can destroy walls and floors, and he can actually quickly use it even while in combat. He's got his Bat Claw, which is able to use to pull enemies toward him to follow up with an attack, even enemies with superhuman speed like Deathstroke. He's even got Freeze Blast that can freeze people in ice, an electric gun which can deliver a powerful electric shock. And then there's his stealth. Batman is able to pull off classic Batman moves, like disappearing right in front of Commissioner Gordon. He's used stealth to take down a team of enemy snipers who had already set up to kill him, and even uses stealth to quickly escape from Bane, and then proceeded to use his sneak attacks to finish Bane off. So Batman could sneak all around, launch surprise attacks from the darkness, and even lay traps, completely catching Ryu off guard. Ryu is a really skilled fighter, a really powerful fighter, but he's predictable. In fact, a lot of the time, he'll just fight in a straight line. Batman is a really skilled fighter and a really powerful fighter too, but his intelligence and gear and weapons are definitely going to give him the edge here. Yeah, Batman's coming out on top. Batman wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure that like button, subscribe button, and turn on notification from the DanCo army. And I will see you next time.